Right or wrong, love it or hate it, reporters, cameramen, and editors, sound engineers, they're now being packaged into one body. And this is a man who was at the forefront. It all began with one lonely man back in 1999, and now you see the very confident Jonathan Fullbloom. He was the original VJ. Now, in fact, Jonathan is actually filming himself. So when you see all these wonderful stories, you are the man. When someone came to you, now as a boy, you grew up and said, boy, won't this be great? I'll have a cameraman, I won't have to lug around equipment, I'll wear a suit and a Buster Brown jacket, and then all of a sudden, boom, huh? I
think I had grand visions of the large crew with the guy with the headphones and the microphone pole, but when I became an intern, those all went out the window.
Now, how did you become the first VJ? Who comes to you? Now, let me list. Jonathan goes to the very prestigious Northwestern in Chicago. Then he goes to Columbia, Missouri, Topeka, Kansas, big hit in Topeka, Tulsa, Oklahoma, San Antonio, Texas, Colorado Springs, and you're only 28. Who was the first guy that shoved one of these things in your hand and said, you want to work, you'll like it?
Well, it didn't look like this 7 years ago. 7 years ago,
here he is.
It looked like this. It was about 30 pounds, a couple of microphones hanging off it, ran for about 45 minutes on a battery.
Okay.
And my journalism professor came to me and said, I'm going to send you to Topeka to do this internship. If you want to get on the air, you're going to have to one-man band. That's what they call it.
And what year was this?
This is 1999.
So they saw what was coming, huh?
They saw what was coming, and at the time, it wasn't video journalism. It was what you did as an intern if you wanted to get on the air.
We just happened to have, remember in the Johnny Carson show, we just happened to have a clip. Here is Jonathan Fullbloom, the very first video journalist stand-up piece, Fullbloom with a llama.
How do you like having all these kids here cleaning your pen for you? Well, she doesn't feel like talking too much, but these kids seem to be having a really good time. Jonathan Bloom, 27 News, Topeka.
Not a very talkative animal.
All right. Where's that anchor now?
That anchor, she's moved on to bigger and better things, I'll tell you that much. She was producing that show, too.
Okay, she did it all.
She did it all.
Let me come at you with a straight thing. You ready?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be serious for a moment. If I'm a reporter, if I'm a cameraman, if I'm a sound man, if I'm an editor, I look at you and I get mad. You're a great guy, but my feeling, right? I mean, you must have felt those. I mean, I just look at you and I'm mad.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people say, you know, it's people like you who are selling out and making this business a harder place to work.
And your retort is?
My retort is, well, you know, the whole business is going to look like this, and I'd rather be ahead of the curve than trying to struggle and catch up.
Yeah, because listen, the KRON takes a lot of hits because we were first in the market. I'm not going to mention other stations, but everybody's headed in that direction. Is that your goal one day, to get so good that when they hand you the camera, you hand it back? And say, get me a cameraman or you won't get Fullbloom?
Well, you know, I've done the photographer, reporter, two-person crew thing, and there are some benefits to it, but let me tell you, it's been awful nice not having to check with somebody else before I decide when to take lunch.
So in other words, you like being your own man?
Yeah, I like setting my own schedule, and, you know, it makes me a better reporter to know what kind of
Fullbloom in action here. This was just taken moments ago. Fullbloom getting very excited. All right, so in 15 seconds or less, you feel good about where the industry is headed? You're glad you made this choice?
I feel good about it because I think it's a new challenge for me. It's gotten me to this market where people who've refused to pick up a camera have stayed back in the smaller markets. And honestly, the technology has gotten to the point where it's making it easy to do everything yourself.
All right. You ever had a nickname?
I've had a few.
Fullbloom? I think it sticks. Catherine, Mike, Chris, Fullbloom.
That's going to stick. Good night, everybody.